Who was the other guy that used to live up there?
He was from New York. He played basketball at played college basketball. They played against Duke and that's before guard. Fairfield. Fairfield, yeah. He was interesting.
That was before my time, I believe.
Come in on Monday, Friday, Monday afternoon.
But he had those condos over there. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's February 21st, 2023 City Council meeting. We would like to respectfully ask that you please silence all electronic devices. At this time, I'd like to call on Mayor Pro Tem Harold Owen for tonight's invocation.
Let's pray, please. O Lord, the Father, the Creator of heaven and earth, have mercy upon us. Give wisdom, kindness, and strength, O Lord, for all of our government employees, members of our military, and business leaders and their employees for the production of essential services and products for all of us. Grant wisdom, persistence, compassion, and insight, O Lord, for our doctors, our nurses, our technicians, and our medical researchers who dedicate their lives to keep us healthy and serve our sick. Lord, have mercy for all of our people who are suffering due to poverty, isolation, or pain. Oh God, please have mercy on them. Bless this council tonight and in the future as we attempt to make the best decisions for all of our citizens. Good Lord, in your name we pray, amen.
Thank you. Our next item is the Code of Ethics, disclosing any conflicts of interest. At this time, we'll recognize City Clerk Beverly Smith.
Members of the council, it's my responsibility to remind you of your duty to avoid conflicts of interest. I ask if there are any potential conflicts concerning tonight's agenda items.
None. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is additions to the agenda. Consent agenda item E. There's a request to add Duke Energy easement, Burlington Athletic Stadium. At this time, we'll entertain a motion. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. The next item is the adoption of the agenda. Is there any discussion or a motion?
I would like to ask that we remove item C from the consent agenda for discussion under new business.
Okay, we have a motion to move item C to new business. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? So item C will be put under new business. The next item is the consent agenda. These items are typically non-controversial. If anyone has any questions about the following items, please let us know. Item A, to adopt a resolution in support of the construction of a regional indoor firing range for the Alamance Community College Public Safety Training Center located in Green Level, North Carolina. Item B, to adopt Transdev's drug and alcohol testing policy compliance on behalf of Link Transit. Item D, to approve Budget Amendment 2023-29 for the entertainment venue project at the Burlington Athletic Stadium. Item E, to approve an easement and easement map between the City of Burlington and Duke Energy Carolinas, LLC, in order to provide power to the Burlington Athletic Stadium entertainment venue. This time we'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Our next item is new business. New business. Item A under new business is to to approve an agreement between the City of Burlington and Jericho Palm upon approval by the City Attorney and Finance and Risk Management Director to provide linked transit bus shelters and passenger amenities for a 5-year period, and approve the associated budget amendment 2023-28 to allocate funds to the Transit Capital Fund. This item was requested to be removed from the consent agenda, so at this time, Mike, could you give us a brief update on that?
Concept?
Yep.
Yeah, we discussed this briefly when we gave you an update in December. We were working on the bid process. We did this again previously in 2017. But this time the change is, it's a 5-year period. We're hoping to put in 25 shelters instead of 5. And then this also includes the turnkey, if you will, turnkey process to put this concrete pad in. Before, that was the challenge, trying to coordinate the shelter delivery, concrete pad in place and all that. So now the one vendor, the Jericho Palm, that's submitted is responsible for the entire process.
And these 25 will be throughout the city?
Yes, what we use our bus stop loading data, of course. Those are the highest used locations. Those are going to be your destinations. The only thing I will say is not all those locations will accept a shelter. You know, there's limited right of way. There's just not a place to put a shelter. You know, a bus stop may work fine. So there's places we're working with engineering to look at the design and location of those.
Will any sidewalks be connected?
Yeah, that's included. We'll also, when we have a logical segment, as we call it, if you need to go around the corner or to make a missing segment, we'll put that sidewalk in to get to that bus shelter.
How many does that look like it would be a year that we'd be putting in?
Well, our goal early on was 5 a year, but now we believe if we have this 5-year contract, we can get that, you know, about five more a year, maybe a few more if we do it together with the concrete being poured at the same time. It's just a coordination effort before. We learned from that. That was a challenge. Then we hit COVID, but now we feel like we have it together in one bid, one person dealing with it. We can get them done probably less than 5 years.
Just had a lot of questions about when we're going to get shelters. And
Yeah, and we'd love to do as many as we can. Again, it's a budget item, but yes, we'd like to do them as fast as we can and get more sidewalks out there. But we feel confident we can do at least 5 a year, if not more.
This is 80-20, 80,
Yes.
80% 5307, 20% city funds?
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. And it will be the same style and design. It's the same company that did it before out of Thomasville. So you'll see the same structure, you know, that we have in place now.
so that the match would be the same across the 5 years?
Yes.
The 36.
Yeah, anytime we purchase capital equipment, it's basically a 20% local match.
How many stops do we actually have total?
220 if you count double way, you know, inbound and outbound. Yeah, over 5 routes.
I like the numbers on this in terms of use, just roughly in terms of increase on an annual basis. What have we seen?
The numbers for this, even before, at the end of COVID, if you will, even for this year in late 2022, were beyond what we were in late 18 and 19. So we're carrying 3,000 to 4,000 people a week. We'll have our highest annual total. We had our highest annual total in 2022. In 2023, I would expect the same. So we're doing more. People are learning more about it. It'll be 7 years. We know that, but they're just realizing that it will take them where they want to go. I mean, your actions with the Fare Free also assisted with that. Our paratransit's growing. It's just something that people, you know, it takes a while for them to understand how to use it and the benefits of it, but, you know, we're still serving the education trips. ACC is a big route for us, the hospital trips, shopping, obviously, but it's something that the routes seem to be in the right locations. We've made a few tweaks over the years. Seems like we had the right destinations that people wanted to go to, so very successful, and we look for another banner year, and we think it'll be a high ridership.
Getting ready or in the process of an RFP for a study for the hub?
We are. We have the hub facility, if you will, right now. You all know it's on Worth Street. It's not enclosed. There's no facilities. There's no amenities there for passengers. There's no customer service there for passengers. So we'll be doing a site study, looking at feasible locations for a passenger transit facility. Also possibly could house the maintenance at some point, but really be the transit location, you know, for link transit on a daily basis. So that will also look at, just so you know, our past history, what we've done in the last 6 to 7 years, and then where we're going in the next 5 to 10 years. so we'll know what type of facility to have.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. If there's no other questions at this time, we'll entertain a motion on item A under new business.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Good discussion. Much appreciated. Thank you, Kathy.
Thanks, Sean.
Our next item on the agenda is public hearing. Item 1 under public hearings. The public hearing has been scheduled for City Council to consider adopting a resolution for an economic development incentives agreement with the Burlington Alamance Airport Authority and Laboratory Corporation of America for Project Sky King. At this time, we'll recognize our Economic Development Director, Peter Bishop. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of council. There we go. Just waiting for this bad boy to warm up. Good evening. It's great to be here again with you. I am here, as you mentioned, to present Project Sky King. Project Sky King represents the development of a new aviation center for Labcorp at the Burlington Alamance Regional Airport. Labcorp is proposing to construct a privately owned new 54,000 square foot aviation center that will include an aviation hangar for aircraft storage, a maintenance facility, offices, a conference room, a parts room, and other amenities at the airport. Labcorp is proposing to lease an approximately 7-acre plot of land on NC 62 just south of the NC Air Patrol building adjacent to the airport. This project will result in an investment in real and personal property of $71 million in the city of Burlington, and the project will also create 5 new aviation jobs for Labcorp Aviation. Now, a little bit about Labcorp Aviation. While the company itself, of course, we know was founded in Burlington and really combined to become Laboratory Corporation of America in 1969, the operations at the airport really began in 1983. So about 30 years of, 40 years, I'm sorry, my dates are wrong, of aviation activity at our airport by Labcorp. This is their primary base of operations, and we all know about the very large 24/7 laboratory on York Court, the sort of heart of the diagnostic operation here in Burlington. And if anybody lives at the end of the 6 or 24 runways, or lives in McIntosh, or works in the city of Burlington, you know that those jets are constantly coming 24/7, 365. In this photo, you see the sort of transfer operations. So these Pilatus PC-12s bring in samples from around the country, mostly on the East Coast, however, and bring them into this laboratory. They're picked up by these courier vehicles and hustled over to lab. That allows the company to give very timely, almost immediate results to their patients, typically within a 24-hour period. It's a very efficient and well-oiled machine, and that's really the nature of this project, is to keep that, that efficiency going. Labcorp has 9 aircraft based at the airport right now, and they're currently leasing 2 different hangars sort of across an apron from each other of about 22,000 square feet where they're doing some of these aviation center operations. This new facility will be twice as large, will allow them to store more aircraft, expand those aviation operations, and put all of those activities within one building and one area of the airport. So the Burlington Alamance Airport was first sort of built and activated in 1943, so quite a while ago. What would that be? 80 years ago, if I'm doing my math correctly. And it was incorporated by the General Assembly, both the Airport Authority and the airport itself, in 1969, the same year that Labcorp themselves incorporated. It is operated and managed by the Burlington Alamance Airport Authority, which, as council knows, you are responsible for appointing 3 of those members directly. Alamance County appoints 3 of those members, and then 1 member is jointly appointed by both commissions. The facility is now wholly located within the city of Burlington city limits, and it is led by Airport Director Dan Daniely, Board Attorney Brian Gavigan, both of whom are in the audience this evening, and who is not here but does a lot of the behind-the-scenes work and helps get money and works with the Division of Aviation, Heidi Fisher. So wanted to mention those folks. They're great partners in economic development and transportation for the city of Burlington. So in economic development, we talk a lot about impact and return on investment. And so what does an investment in the airport bring to the city, bring to the city's residents? And sometimes the airport, you hear the planes, you see the planes, but you don't really think about the big picture of what the real impact of that facility is. Well, every year, the North Carolina Division of Aviation produces a report, the State of Aviation, and below that little logo is the statewide impact of aviation in North Carolina. But to the right here is just the impact of Burlington Alamance Regional Airport. So the airport generates a total $280 million economic impact. It provides just over $62 million in payrolls that are supporting 1,040 employees, and $8.5 million in state and local taxes back to the taxpayer. So a very significant impact economically at the airport. And then I included, this is certainly not an exhaustive list, but some of the main tenants at the airport. So you have GE Honda Aero, of course, who creates and manufactures the HF-120 turbofan engine that is then affixed to the wing of the Honda Jet in Greensboro. Of course, Labcorp's aviation operations. We have the UNC Carolina Air Care helicopters are based at the airport, and they have pilots that will bunk there and respond to emergencies. We have several maintenance, repair, and overhaul, or MRO facilities. So H&H Propeller, Triad Aviation are both in that realm. So they rebuild engines, rebuild propellers for turboprop aircraft. Then we have some flight schools like Elon Aviation, and then Eagle View is a very interesting company. They take GIS aerial imagery for folks like us, for the city of Burlington and other municipalities, and do aerial photography through their business. And interestingly enough, in preparing for this presentation with Dan, the airport director, the airport actually worked with ITRI, the Institute of Transportation Research and Education at NC State, to do an economic impact analysis in 2016 of Labcorp's operations. So the numbers you see right here are 2016 numbers of the impact that just Labcorp Aviation has on the city of Burlington. And it's pretty significant just for one company. So $33 million in total economic output, just under $4 million in state and local taxes paid by Labcorp Aviation, and just under $8 million in total payroll. So again, a significant impact by just one of the tenants at the airport that makes it a part of a larger impact. So these next slides are going to show a little bit of what the layout of this new facility is going to look like. On this image, you see Alamance Road, NC 62 to the top, and then the gray area will be the actual building construction, the 54,000 square foot hangar with 2 large bays in it to store aircraft and perform maintenance. And then the rear of the facility has a parts room, a storage facility, some offices, and a conference room for their employees. This facility will have parking, it will have full landscaping, has aprons and taxiways that will connect it to the airport facilities, and its own fuel farm that will be served. And then this is just a close-up picture of the actual hangar facility, and you can sort of see the sketched in planes there, the offices and other amenities of the building that surround those hangars. So what the City of Burlington is proposing in partnership with the Airport Authority and the State Division of Aviation is to help the Airport Authority prepare the site and deliver a pad-ready site for the private construction of the hangar. So what we are proposing is a $2 million budget appropriation to the Burlington Alamance Airport Authority specifically for that site preparation work. So that money goes to the Burlington Alamance Airport Authority. We are also asking council to authorize waiving permit fees, water and sewer tap fees for Labcorp's private construction of up to $200,000 as they construct the private hangar on the site. So the maximum total value of this package, both to the Airport Authority and to the company, will be $2.2 million. And from a benefit standpoint, again, looking at the return on investment and the impact that this project can have, Project Sky King, it represents a significant investment from a locally founded company and an existing industry, so helping out the companies that are here and have been with us. And what this project does, both in reality and in perception, is it really makes Burlington Alamance Airport the home of Labcorp's aviation department. It provides for additional growth in the future, for the changes that may be coming to aviation, whether that's manned or unmanned or remote. We feel very good about this project being the precursor for all future expansions and investments in aviation that Labcorp may make, especially related to their diagnostic and testing business. This project does model to have a positive return on investment for us, so we certainly look all the time as if are the dollars that we're spending returning more dollars to the taxpayer and creating a good deal and economic impact for the city, and it does. We have worked very closely, and I give a lot of credit to Dan Daniely, Brian, and Heidi for their relationships with the state's Division of Aviation and the Department of Transportation. There's $1.3 million that's coming from the State Division of Aviation to assist this project with ramp space, with taxiway construction and other site preparation. So we're very proud of that relationship. Amanda Connor, who works for the Division of Aviation, has also been a great partner for us. So very happy to have their cooperation. And of course, we're here to recommend the approval of this agreement and this budget allocation to the airport. I'm certainly available for any of your questions. Dan and Brian are also available for your questions related to this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Is there any questions? Any questions for Peter? All right, just be on standby.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a public hearing, so at this time we will open the floor for any public comments on item 1 under our public hearings. Is there anyone on this side of the room that would like to speak on this subject? Is there anyone on this side that would like to speak? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close public comments.
So moved.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any other comments or questions?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to hear just a couple of comments from the presenters here tonight, either Dan or people from Labcorp on the importance of this, not just for what we've said here now, but the importance of a proposal like this and how they can benefit the community long term. So,
Dan, you want to? Dan Denley, Airport Director.
Dan, would you like to also speak? I won't put him on the spot, but anyway, I'll start. So I'm Dan Denley with the Airport Authority. Guys, this is extremely important to us. As you saw with Peter's report, the economic impact of the airport is tremendous. And what's going on with companies such as Labcorp is what's making it work. It's our economy today in our community. And this is very exciting. We're talking about a 54,000 square foot facility, 330 feet in length. That's longer than a football field. It's a big facility in itself. The tax base from this, when the combined tax base on this will be over $101 million when you take what they currently have and add that to what's bringing in. So this is exciting from all the return of investment in this thing. But what does this also do? The G6 is a very large aircraft, and so bringing the G6 in with normal operations from Burlington causes the Division of Aviation and FAA to take a more in-depth look at the airport and our master plan, and as we update the airport, preparing it to be able to accommodate more of the larger type aircraft. So with Labcorp's investment in their aircraft in our airport and this hangar, it's also leveraging us or helping us leverage more FAA funds for more development with the airport. Very exciting, very exciting. I'd love to answer any questions you want to ask.
Well, I know the project's been evaluated, discussed. It's been a collaboration for many months, but specifically, it's always good when you have multi efforts, and the airport's effort with Labcorp's effort, and everyone has been involved. The significance of both Labcorp as a company and what they mean to the history of the city of Burlington, and then the airport. And you look at a $280.1 million economic output in our airport in Burlington, North Carolina, and then you see that this is an impetus to really elevate what we would consider a local airport to now being more of a regional player in aviation.
I can tell you that I meet regularly with my colleagues from around the state. They're envious of what we have here. We have Amanda Conner and Raleigh calls it the dream team, when she's talking to Peter, when she's talking to the chamber folks, and we're working on different economic development projects. There's a lot on the table right now, different projects. Burlington representatives are always saying, yes, we can. So I can't thank you enough.
Thank you for your hard work as well, Dan.
Any other questions?
I just want to thank the Labcorp people for the confidence in us, and obviously the mayor indicated the importance of what you all are for this community cannot be underestimated. And over the years with the Powell family, it's been a kind of a dream come true for a community that was basically textiles for so many years, and what it's changed to now, Labcorp is a major part of that. So again, thank you all for your confidence in the city of Burlington.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we'll entertain a motion on item 1.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And thank you, Peter, for the work you guys put forth. And I want to echo Mayor Pro Tem Owen's comments that Labcorp is more to the city of Burlington than economics. It's a piece of our history. And, you know, I always say, and I made the comment today, there's two things that are important, your paycheck and your project. And when you know that your history has that legacy to it, it just makes you a little more proud when you walk around town or when Dan's talking to his colleagues. So thank you guys for what you mean to our community, and I promise you we're going to stand behind you and be partners with you along the way. So thank y'all.
Chamber folks as well appreciate the way you work together very much.
Thank you. Peter, is that good?
Yes.
All good? Okay, thank you, everyone. At this time, we'll move to public comments. We do have public comment this evening. Is it Mary Jensen? Yes. Come forward. Beverly, can you or Morgan assist there? They're all good? Mary, please state your address for the records, please.
1322 West Davis Street.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
So I was at the work session earlier this month, and I remember one of the topics that came up for discussion was concerns about crime rates around Burlington, in particular issues of people who were eating on other people's porches, leaving litter behind, and threatening others who tried to address the issue with them. And one thing that I know that affects crime rates in an area, and this has been proven by Harvard studies, is empty storefronts that have been abandoned. When cities have a lot of those, it provides a place where people can meet up to do illegal things like drug trades or coordinating like gang things. I know we've had some gang violence issues in Burlington. And it seems to me like Burlington tends to be a pretty laterally expanding city. Like, it seems like we're sprawling out a lot, and whenever we get a new business, they add a new place around the edge of Burlington, which leaves a lot of abandoned storefronts and things we have in the city limits that are not being redeveloped. And those sorts of things would impact the crime rates around Burlington. So I was wondering, does the city council have any sort of plan or initiative in place to incentivize the redevelopment of these existing empty storefronts and businesses to help address the crime rate issue?
Well, that's a great question, and normally public comments, we're not prepared to address those directly, but I think given the fact that we did discuss it at the work session, and certainly economic development with vacated properties is a property owner. But Peter, since you're present, can you speak to that briefly?
I absolutely can. No,
I apologize if that's not an appropriate thing.
No, it's not that it's inappropriate. We just put them on the spot sometimes.
Yeah,
so that's okay.
No, it's timely, and thank you for your comment. We did just release a press release today that through council's action at our last meeting, a 65,000 square foot vacant building has been purchased and will be occupied by 33 new jobs and a new stone cutting operation just off of Fisher Street near downtown. So it's certainly a strategy of ours to, especially with larger structures that can house a new company, to try and find new tenants for them and get more jobs and more investment. But actually I want to talk about something different, and you're prescient and timely. At our next work session in March, Economic Development will be presenting to the City Council some information about an updated incentive policy, but we'll also be talking about a corridor improvement plan and establishing a series of grants that would target the North Church, East Webb, and Maple Avenue corridors, with grants specifically targeted to business owners and building owners that have vacant properties or properties that could have a change in use or house a different business. Maybe it's a restaurant upfit that needs to be done to accommodate a new business, but we will be presenting that information to City Council at our March work session. So we also recognize that corridors and their appearance and vacancy or whatever it might be is an issue for all residents of our city and certainly businesses. And we're going to roll out some programs and some dollars to support entrepreneurs and building owners and developers to try and get those buildings full with businesses and improve buildings that need some help.
Thank you.
So, yes.
So we would invite you to come to our work session as we...
March 6th?
March 6th. Is that right, Beverly? Okay.
And it's also been said, one of the challenges that we face now is a pandemic and with online sales, which is great and very, obviously very easy for people to do, is there's some major retail openings that's not just here, it's across the state. The question is going to be is how we address that as a city also, especially some of the centers, larger shopping centers. We see it in East Burlington at Park Plaza. We've seen it at the Holly Hill facility, which has made some substantial improvements. But now we're beginning to see it some out at Alamance Crossing, which is a concern in terms of that was a major development in the early 2000s here. There's a significant investment, private investment made. So we'll see how that plays out, but that's a very valid point you bring to the table.
Yep. Thank you for that, and we invite you March 6th, and we'll continue the discussion.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Our next item is council comments. Couple of things, and thank you, Peter, for that. Couple of things under council comments. We are still doing recreation and parks surveying. Is that right, Tony? Aren't they doing the email phase?
Yes, sir. Just started recently, and it's on our website. They can link to it, or a bunch of citizens have gotten a postcard in the mail to random answer the thing, so they get the whatever their standard response is without any influence. But
Just at random.
Yeah, but also any citizen can go online and answer the survey too.
And I think the number I heard is we're trying to get 3,500 respondents.
I think 3,500 were sent out, and I think we want about 300 back. Or
10%?
Yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha, 350. So anyway, if you did get that, please send it in, or if not, please go online and fill it out. It's very important to us as we continue with the master plan for recreation and parks. And then I do want to thank city staff we did talk about Rainey Street and Grace Avenue and Piedmont and some of the areas that were really kind of drifting without a lot of notice, and some very special people brought that to our attention, residents out there, and then some very special people got to work on it, and that would be city staff. And we've seen a significant improvement already in a couple of other areas. So it's impressive. And I want to thank everybody that was involved, Gary, your team, and anyone else that pitched in and helped out. I know PD stepped it up, and we really appreciate that, guys. And I've had 2 individuals from the area call me and tell me, wow, we're seeing things happen. And that's pretty special. So thank y'all. Any other council comments? I think there's been a request to enter into closed session. Is that right?
Mayor, I'd ask you to go into closed session at this time pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-31811, A4, to discuss matters related to the location or expansion of industries or other businesses in the area, including negotiations involving economic development incentives.
So we've got a request to go into closed session. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? At this time, we will enter the closed session.
This is some kind of a practical joke. Peter Bishop is leading this discussion.
Or open session?
Ron is still trying to vote.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? At this time, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. We are adjourned.